this is Toy again.
Hi, it's Ginger. And we're going to talk about wrap parties.
We just basically want to give you a few ideas on how to get started and what to do. So let us give you a couple of ideas on invitations.
Okay. We have got some forms that we have already created for you. You can use flyers. You can use Facebook Evite. You can also create emails with attached flyers so that if if you can't send it out, you can hand it out. Another great way would be to use your Blitz card, and on your label you can just put the date of your party. I wouldn't put your address just in case, but I would put your phone number, the date, and time of the party, and they can call for RSVPs.
And you can actually send those through the mail if you wanted to. We've checked with the post office, and all you're going to do is, put the little labels on, like you're sending it out, and put a stamp on it. So you can do that too if you wanted to.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I know, pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so we want to talk to you a little bit about, once you get the invitations out, you've got your parties booked and all of that, you want to really pay attention to what we call hostess coaching. And we want to tell you what it is and why it's important, because you want to set those expectations. Just like when you go to a wedding or, birthday party, you kind of know the flow of events and you kind of know what to expect. So people need to know what to expect when they're coming to a party. So do you want to go ahead and talk to them a little bit about what you might tell the hostess?
Sure. One thing that we find is a lot of people come to these parties and they're invited and they come because they like you, but they don't know why they're coming. So if you will make sure and tell them this is a wrap party, our invitations are going to give them a little more information as far as how it works.
Right.
It's a 45-minute application. Make sure that your hostess lets them know also that they are going to be paying money to try the wrap. The wraps are not free. And another big thing would be for her to call and check on those that are planning to come the day before. Make sure they're still going to be there.
Just confirm it.
Confirm that she will have people at her party. You don't want to do too big of a party, so let her know if she has a lot of people that she wants to invite. Split it into 2 parties. And then our bonus gift to them is to wrap for free.
Yeah, so that way you're thanking her with wrapping her for free for going to the trouble for having a couple different parties for you. Another couple of things that I like to mention, and I do this either over the phone or in person, whenever they're actually booking the party with me, or I'll send it in an email so that they can, see it. And also when they forward that email with an attachment with the invitation, hopefully everybody will read that information on there. But some of the things that I like to say, hopefully
they'll read it.
yeah. But, some of the things that I like to say are, it's just going to take a little over an hour. We're going to wrap as soon as the guests arrive, and while they have their wrap on for the 45-minute application, I will go ahead and let them sample a few products and, talk to them a little bit about some of the products and how to get results. And, if anybody wants to purchase at wholesale, they'll have an opportunity to do that. And then, like Ginger said, reiterate that everybody is going to pay X amount of dollars. If you're charging, 30, 35, 20, 25, it doesn't matter, but you want to make that very clear. I also like to say that I just accept cash or checks for the wraps. What do you do?
I have a square just in case, but I do tell people ahead of time. But I always keep it in backup so that no one is stuck without wrapping.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just want to be clear. That's the point here. You just want to set those expectations, let people know that you're going to be wrapping right away and they can purchase the wrap for X amount of dollars, and that during that 45-minute application while they have it on is when they're going to be able to sample the products and everything.
So I've got 2 questions that you're probably wondering or you will run across at one point. What if people come in and all of a sudden they want to know about the wrap before they get the wrap on? How do you keep the flow of the party so that you're not prolonging this hour and a half event?
That is a good question, because number one, you want to respect the hostess time and everybody else, and you don't want to drag this out.
True.
And number two, you want to take control of the party before it gets all out of hand and everybody's just doing whatever they want. So basically, what I tell people is, if they start asking a lot of questions, is that the products are all natural, and we're going to go ahead and wrap everybody first, and while they have it on, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the products and how to get the best results and that kind of thing. And typically at that point, you've already said it's all natural, so that way they're not afraid of it, I guess, is a good way to put that.
True.
And they can go ahead and wrap. And I just kind of say, here's some pictures if you want to look at it. If you want to check out the ingredients, here's a box of wraps, and then I move on.
But don't let them get you wrapped up into spending another 30 minutes explaining, because as people trickle in, that's the next question. How do you handle when people are late? We know things come up and sometimes you have people not show up on time. But after you've been 15 minutes into the party, you've got the majority of them wrapped, and you know there's a few more that are missing. Do you go ahead and start the party, or how do you handle a late arrival?
Okay, that's a good question too, because that is going to happen to everybody at some point. If people come in, if I'm in the middle of my presentation, I might say, hey, I'm so glad that you came. Are you going to wrap today? And if they say yes, or, I don't know, I just say, if my hostess is sitting right there, I would just say, can you go help them get wrapped if that's what they want to do? And then that way, the hostess has already been wrapped. They kind of know exactly what to do. And I've never had a problem with that. They usually just say, oh yeah, and they'll walk over and they'll take care of it. And I might take an extra minute or two to say, here's the wrap supplies and whatever. Give them some scissors and a wrap.
But that way it doesn't disrupt your presentation right in the middle of, and they still get wrapped. You still move on.
That's true.
That's a great idea.
It works out good for me, or it has so far.
So let's show them the 3 stations that you're going to have at your wrap party. They're very simple, and you want to bring everything in one bag if possible. And I can tell you, it's possible.
Yes, and we have a lot of different products, but don't feel like you need to take everything and demonstrate everything. People are coming to a wrap party to wrap.
Exactly.
They want to wrap. You can mention a couple different things, but we want to keep it simple. So you want to take one bag in, and we like to have what we call 3 station parties. And so that means that we have 3 separate stations at our wrap parties. So the first station would be what we call the sign-in station.
All of these forms that we're about to show you are going to be on Toys Team Facebook page. You can print these out. It's nothing crazy and easily accessible to everyone.
Absolutely, and you don't have to feel like you need to do exactly what we're doing. So we have a little welcome sign. I don't know how well you can see it, but it just has the prices for the wraps. You can use our income chart if you want to. You don't even have to do this if you don't want, but this is just a suggestion. You can also use the little stand-up, clear little plastic things that you can slip paper in. And this is a sign-in sheet, and I just usually put a pin here. And the reason why this is so important is because you want to capture everybody's information, their phone numbers, their email addresses, so that you can follow up with them. So this is in my opinion, this is very important.
And this is also going to be your hostess's job. As people come in, she's going to have them sign in, and she's going to take their money. She can put a little check mark out there to the side, but your hostess is going to help you to run your sign-in station.
Yes, and another thing, I don't have it shown here, but another thing you can have is a little money jar, little plastic container, preferably with a lid so that people can put their checks or their cash in or whatever. But like Ginger said, make that the hostess's responsibility and just say, hey, if you could get everybody signed in for me, and make sure that they purchase a wrap so that you're not chasing everybody down saying, did you pay? Did you pay? You don't want to leave the party and, half the people didn't pay for their product.
Exactly.
So that's it for the sign-in sheet. One other thing that you can throw out here are some books, some before and after books as well, so they can see some pictures.
All right, station number 2.
All right, station number 2 is what we call the wrap station. And this consists of anything that you have your product in, and I like to use saran wrap. So this right here is my second station. And so I'm going to take this wherever the hostess wants me to wrap. A bedroom or maybe
bathroom.
A dining room off to the side. You're just going to ask where they want you to wrap everybody. So that's it. Inside my bag, some people use a little box, whatever. But inside here, I've got my facial wraps, I've got my body wraps, and a pair of scissors or 2, and that's it. Just simple. You just got your product, and I've got my saran wrap. So that's my second station.
And you want to make sure at this station that you take your phone with you so you can do your before and after pictures.
Oh, good one. Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up. Some people, I cannot forget that. Some people, some distributors will want to use their own phones, and I like to have people use their phones to have their pictures on, so you can do it whatever. The third station is what I like to call the presentation station, and I just got this at Hobby Lobby. It's just a little box that I keep everything in because it lets me keep everything organized. So I've got that, and then I've got a little thing here that keeps my customer order forms, and like I'm sure you guys have already seen the product pamphlets, and we like to keep the order form inside there. So I set this off to the side so that I can hand those out. And then whenever I set my presentation station up, these are the things that come in the mini boost kit. I have my Fat Fighter bottle, the defining gel, the greens, Now, I like to keep an empty box of wraps, if you'll set that up for me. And then I have my party pad, which is going to help me with my presentation. And then I like to keep some cups. These are little mouthwash cups, and this is what I let people try the greens in. And I like to use a thermos. I've tried this so many different ways. I might go to the gas station and get a little thing of orange juice and put some greens in, and then you're having to put that in the refrigerator whenever you get there, and sometimes you've traveled a while and it doesn't stay cold. So my thing now is I like to get a thermos that I know is going to keep it cold for several hours, and I go ahead and I pre-mix whatever I'm going to put my greens in for tasting. So this is just the cups that I use for that, and I usually just kind of set it behind so that they don't see, because I know that's not as cute. And then the last thing I have for this section is for my fat fighter demonstration. This will have 2 fat fighters crushed up, and this is oil and water. It's just a couple of teaspoons of vegetable oil. You don't want to use the good stuff like olive oil or something like that. You want to use the bad stuff. So just use regular vegetable oil. And I go ahead and I pre-mix it, and I like it because it's capped off. So I can just unscrew this, pour in the fat fighters when it gets time for the demonstration, and cap it back off so that I can chunk it back in my bag so I'm not having to pour it out at their house.
That's good to know, because I always take the fancy glass and you pour it, and then afterwards you've got to clean it. So this is much easier.
And I just kind of set that behind here. I'm just going to scoop this up a little bit.
Okay.
I set my fat fighter demonstration up behind that so that it's, not seen as much. So this is it. This is my little presentation. You saw how simple it is to just, quickly pull that out of the box. And if it's a cute little box that you like, you can, put the things on top of it. And this is what I'm going to use for the presentation. So it's just as simple as that.
And if you keep it simple, it's very duplicatable. That was a big word.
True.
And so everyone that you're presenting this to is going to see how easy it is, and in the back of their mind think, I can do that, and you want that.
Absolutely, because you don't want to overcomplicate things. And like we said, by taking in one bag, people will see that that's quick, that's easy. And when you go to pack this up, you chunk all this back in your little box or, your bag or whatever you have. Put this stuff in your one bag that you came with, and you're through. So, tearing down and setting up and all of that is just simple. So we want to talk to you just a little bit about the party itself. So, you get there, you had everybody sign in and purchase a wrap. You got everybody wrapped, and then you came out and you did your little presentation. You want to pay attention to the time there and not talk too long.
And another key to that is if you will figure out or make a note on when the first person is that you wrapped, what time you finished wrapping them, then you start your 45 minutes from that. And that'll tell you whether you have 30 minutes in between or 20 minutes. But that is your presentation time.
That is exactly what I do, and I love that. So you want to be mindful of everybody's time. So absolutely. They don't want to be there all day with you. They love you.
We have done 3 or 4 hour wraps. Not recommended.
Yeah, that's not fun. And nobody's going to want to be a distributor if your parties are lasting, 2, 3, 4 hours. So you want to keep it simple. And you also told your hostess that it was just going to take over an hour. So the last thing that we want to talk about is closing with your customers. After you've given your presentation, you go back and you unwrap people and you get the results. You definitely want to get their order and just ask that question. What's better for you today? Do you want to just go ahead and start using the products at wholesale cost? Do you want to start making some money by sharing the products? Just ask the questions. Don't be afraid of that. Would you have anything to say?
Well, I was just going to add on to that. If you just basically ask those 2 questions, they're going to answer an LC or a DT. It's harder for them to say, they want to order, so just give them an option. Do you want to become an LC today or a DT?
Absolutely.
And it's a simple ending question. It helps close all the time.
And you don't have to be afraid of it. You're just asking a question. You're not pushing. You don't need to feel like you're selling. You're just sharing, and you're just asking some questions. And there's nothing wrong with asking what people's goals are and what their budget is too, because somebody might say, I have this much money, these are my goals, and then maybe you can help them with what products would be best for them. Wouldn't you say?
I agree.
Okay, and so we talked about your invitations, coaching your hostesses, and making sure that people know the flow of your parties. We talked about having one bag and the 3 stations, how to close with your customers at the end of your party.
Yes.
And then the last thing I would want to make sure that you do is follow up.
That's very important. A lot of people that I do talk to that have tried a wrap before, they've lost their distributor. They can't find them. They may not have had the results that they were looking for. And so if you contact them and find out the second day, hey, did you, how do you feel this morning? If they're having symptoms or not seeing what they expected, you can go through a few things,
Talk them through it.
checklist, and make sure that there's not something that they're doing or forgetting to drink their water. It's follow-up is key, and you can help them to have a successful route.
And we mentioned the sign-in sheet earlier. That is key to having everybody's information so that you can follow up with them. So you can text everybody, you can shoot out, a group email. I would suggest actually getting on the phone and calling them, even if it's just leaving a quick message. That way they know that you care about them. You didn't just take their money, wrap them, and you're done.
And I will agree that I love to text and email, and I found that when you make voice contact, you're going to get more response than someone responding to your email. So you got to go back to the old way with that.
I think so too. And if you're a really high achiever, you could actually send out like a group email and then also follow up with a little phone call. And especially for people that did not become a loyal customer or a distributor at the party, you definitely want to follow up with them. So that's kind of everything that we want to talk to you about today, and we'll see you next time.